Good morning, Cover Wildcats. I'm Samaya.
And I'm Allegra.
Welcome to WCMS Morning News.
The Fancy Book Club celebration has been postponed until after the holidays. Keep reading those big, thick, fancy novels, and we will do something fun with them in January.
Beta Club will hold its induction tomorrow after school. Students must wear black and white. See Schoology for more details. MacBook protection plans payments are due December 16th.
A payment of $105 for 8th graders going to Washington, D.C. will be due on January the 15th.
The All Pros Dad's Breakfast will be held December 16th at 7:15. Invite your father, grandfather, or father figure to come and wear your favorite team shirt.
Pizza for Pals Club will be sold tomorrow.
That's all for today.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Finished The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Yesterday, Della had cut off all her beautiful hair and sold it to buy her husband a present. A pocket watch was what men used to wear their watches on their pockets, and they had a little chain that connected it to their shirt or their jacket to keep it safe. And so that's what she's bought him, is a little chain made out of platinum for his watch. But now she's worried that she's cut her hair. He's going to be upset that she cut her hair. By 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Jim was never late. Della folded the watch chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door. When she heard his step on the stairs, she panicked for just a moment. She had a habit of saying little silent prayers about simple everyday things, and now she whispered, "Please, God, make him think I'm still pretty." The door opened and Jim stepped in. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow, he needed a new coat and he had no gloves. Jim stopped suddenly inside the door and stared at Della. There was an expression in his eyes that she could not read, and it terrified her. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, not horror, or any of the things she had expected. He simply stared at her with that strange expression on his face. Della wriggled off the table and went to him. "Jim, darling," she cried, "don't look at me that way. I've had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. You don't mind, do you? My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a nice, beautiful gift I've got for you." Jim looked around the room curiously. "You say your hair is gone?" he said with disbelief. "Well, you needn't look for it," said Della. "It's sold and gone, I tell you. It's Christmas Eve. Be good to me. Maybe the hairs in my head were numbered," she went on with a sudden serious sweetness. "But nobody can count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim?" Jim seemed to wake from his trance, and he put his arms around Della. Then he took a package out of his coat pocket and he threw it on the table. "Don't make any mistake about me, Della," he said. "I don't think there's anything in the way of a haircut or shampoo that can make me love you less. But if you'll unwrap the package, you'll see why I was surprised at first." Della's nimble fingers tore at the paper and string. She screamed with joy, but then her smiles quickly changed to tears. For there lay a set of hair combs that Della had admired for so long in a Broadway store window. Hair combs were like barrettes that they used to wear in their hair, kind of like jewels. They were beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims, just the color to wear in her beautiful, vanished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved them without the slightest hope of ever owning them. And now they were hers, but the hair that should have had them was gone. She hugged them to her, and after a moment she was able to look at Jim and say with a smile, "My hair grows fast, Jim." And then Della leapt up and cried, "Oh!" For Jim had not seen his present. She held it out to him eagerly. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her own bright spirit. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You'll have to look at your watch 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on there. Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. Della, he said, let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them for a while. They're too nice to use just now. You see, I sold the watch to get the money to buy your hair combs. And now, suppose you put the chops on. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Because they were wise, their gifts were wise. And here I have told you the story of two foolish children in a tiny apartment who unwisely gave up for each other the greatest treasures of their home. But let it be said that of all those who give gifts, these two were the wisest. Of all who give gifts, those who give as these two did are the wisest, because everywhere they are the wisest, they are the Magi. So Della couldn't use her new combs because she cut her hair, and Jim couldn't use his new watch chain because he sold his watch. Why do you think O. Henry says that they were wise in the gifts they gave? It's a good question to think about.